Hello, and welcome to the tutorial for the Adventure League's online tools webpage. My name is David Williamson, and I am the Senior Local Coordinator for the online region in charge of this page. Now, this page will allow you to sign up and to schedule online games for the Adventure League. It'll also allow you to keep character logs for all your Adventure League characters and a few more items. So first thing I want to do is go over the main menu here, and this is the Adventure League news feed. So this just shows you all the top items that are in the news feed, and if you want more details on each item, you click on the link and it'll take you right to the Adventure League page. Here is the DM's Guild. This is all the Adventure League items that are available for sale on the DM's Guild. If you want to purchase them, you can click on the link and it'll take you right there. The next item is helpful links. This here is DM stream channels. If any DM streams their games online for their online games, then you can see here is a list of all the DMs and what channels are available. And also note, on every web page in the site, you're going to see this a title page and the home button. The home button will take you either to the landing page if you're not logged in, or it'll take you to the main menu if you're logged in. I will go over store flyers later, and these are just all helpful web links. Here's the online region on the Facebook pages. Here's online adventure leagues on Reddit and so forth. Here's if you want to email the webpage master or take a look at any website changes. Here is just a bunch of tools available to you, which I will go on over later. Now here on the main page, here are the games that are going to be scheduled for the next 48 hours. And if you have cookies turned on, it should show you these games available in your time zone. Here is the Quest of the Week schedule and what's scheduled. And here, if you want to purchase them in the DM's Guild. And here's just a list of advertising for any up-and-coming online conventions. Now, in order to use the page, you must register. So you click on the login button and go to register. Here you need to put a valid email address, and you do want to make sure it's a real address if you plan on logging in for online games and getting DM notifications. Now, you don't necessarily have to have your DCI number, but if you plan on GMing games, it'll be really helpful. If you want to hide, if you put in a stream, and if you want to hide that in that list that we saw up under helpful links, then you put that here. If you want to receive online game announcements, when a DM creates a game, they have the option to email out everybody who signed up on the web page, and that'll turn those announcements on for you. If you plan on DMing, then you should choose what software you're going to DM with. If you're not going to use anything listed, if you press other, then you can type in right down here your other. Now, if you're going to use the Fantasy Grounds and you have the Ultimate license, you should select Fantasy Grounds and click the Ultimate license. So here you can put your DM connection info. So if you're using Fantasy Grounds, you can put the 4 words in there. If you're going to stream, you can put your streaming webpage here. For default max game players, if you're going to have Adventure League defaults to 7 game players, some DMs like to run with 5 or 6, so you could actually reduce this here, and it'll be your default. What language your games are in. And then if you're going to DM in Hamachi or log me in, I don't know if anybody really does that anymore. Use your voiceover information, but it's better to actually put your voice information in the DM connection info. If you have a Skype ID, and here, put the password you're going to use. And every time you go and edit your user information, you'll have to re-enter a password. And then you need to put in a password recovery. This is required. And then you press save here, and it tells you it's required. and then you press save, and now you're registered. So here is the main menu for the web page, and you can see here is just all of the Quest of the Week games that are up and coming. So here's the current weeks, and if you want to purchase it, you can go right to the DM's Guild here. And then here are all the scheduled games for this Quest of the Week. Here is the future schedule, and here once again is the advertisement for any up and coming online conventions. So first thing here is, in order to play in the game, you must create an online character. It is required for you to choose a character when you sign up for a game. So in order to do that, let's go play in characters. Then so this is how all browse games are going to look. Here's the header. No, I'm sorry, all the browse windows. And then to create a new item, it'll be in green up here. So we're going to press new character. So we're going to enter in the character name, race. All this isn't required. This is just helpful so that people, when they're choosing their classes, they know what class and level you're going to be. Now, if you don't use the web page for logging, and you do have an online log somewhere, DMs can request to see your logs. So you'll either have to scan it and mail it to them, or if you have it online, you can put the URL to your log here. This level here is if you use the web page to keep a character log. This automatically gets updated. What faction? This is useful so that when DMs, this is useful if you use the site to online. This is useful if you use this site to keep your character logs. This will automatically update your renown and stuff if the DM enters, and I'll show you how that works later. Now this is story origin. This is just for your information. Background. Once again, this is useful to you if you use the website for your log. And this just tells you what lifestyle cost is. Alright, and then from here you can press save, and it'll save your character. And once again, it's consistent throughout the pages. If you want to cancel, cancel is always red, and then save is always right next to it in green. Alright, so now we have a character. Okay, so let's go ahead and sign up for a game. So if you go to the play menu, and then you go to online games, if you want to specifically play a Quest of the Week, you can go ahead and click on that, or you can go into online games. Playtest games are only for specific people. So let's go into online games. So up here is just a warning that all times are displayed in your time zone if you set up your time zone properly. Oh, and that was in the logging game here. In the registration here, your time zone. And then just as a note that different regions go off on and off daylight savings at different times. So if your DM is in a different country than you, or in one of those states that doesn't use, like Arizona, that doesn't use daylight saving time, then when the times changes, times can get kind of wonky. So you need to keep update with your DM to see exactly when the times are. So here's a key, is the online region. So any online, any local regional, any online coordinators or admins will have a little purple ampersand next to them, and then any of the online DM team. The online DM team is just a group of DMs who've agreed to run so many games a month, and who can get this little tag. It also lets you know that you're running with an experienced DM. Not necessarily, I mean, it doesn't give the DM quality, but it does at least let you know that you're DM. is experienced. So here is normal games, quest of the week games, and any hardcover games. Okay, so here is the date and time in your time zone, and it also shows you the GM time zone. Adventure name, so it'll run 2 hours, and what tier it is. Here is the DM's name, the language of the game, and what version of the software to run. Here is the players signed up and the max number of players the DM's allowing in these games. Now don't be afraid if there's a lot of signups for a game. Majority of the time there are spots in a game. Obviously it's not always, but a lot of people just sign up for games even though they may or may not be able to make it. They just camp on the website and looking for games to sign up for. So even though here there's 9 players signed up, there's still a decent chance you'll get in. Now, to the right here is where you can sign up for the game, or you can email the DM if you have any questions. So we're going to go here and we'll choose this game here because I heard it's an awesome DM, and we'll sign up for this. So here is the GM, his DCI number. Here is his game server information, and then TeamSpeak. This is what module he's running, the date of the game, in your time. So 7 players, English, and it's a 4-hour runtime. And if he has any special notes, he'll put in here. This is, now not all DMs will do this, but after the game, they may fill in the DM rewards, gold rewarded, downtime dates, and stuff like that. So if you want to sign up, you can press the sign up here, and then you choose your character. And if you played in the game, this is for a DM to keep attendance, so really don't click on this unless you know you played in the game. Now, and for Quest of the Week games, this actually marks a Quest of the Week game that you've already played it, so the DM will actually have the option to bump you if you've already played in a Quest of the Week games, just to allow to give more players a chance to play in the games. So we'll press save. Now I'm going over a lot of the things that I'll go over later. Also here, you can click there that you've attended the game just from this page by pressing the globe. Usually when you see a globe, that means that it's something that you can click. So now it says a screen, and we can turn it back off again. Now, whenever you have a browse screen, you'll see to the right here the options to edit or delete records. So we'll just go ahead and we can edit that if we want, and change characters if we had more than one character and stuff like that. Alright, so that's the basics of signing up for a game. Oh, one more thing. This will actually download a calendar file to you that you can open. I don't have it. It's because I'm local. But this will download character, and you can import that calendar record into Outlook or Google Calendar or any other compatible system. Now, when you do that, the time zones can get out of whack, so you may have to adjust the starting time if you're in the middle of daylight savings. Nope, so we'll return. Alright, so that's the basics of how to sign up for games. Now, you can run filters. So if you go here and press show filters, you have a range of things you could do. So if you only want to play games between 9 a.m. your time and 9 p.m., only want to play certain levels, or you want to look at certain storylines, or if you only want to search for specific DMs, if you only want to play in specific software. So if you don't have if you have a free version of Fantasy Grounds, you're going to want to filter by the Ultimate, or if you just want to play Fantasy Ground games, this will filter by both Ultimate and Normal. And then if there's certain days of the week you can't play, like if you can't play Mondays and Tuesdays, if you only want English, And so here is only quest of the week, only games if you want to view. If you do not, continued games. Now what continued games are is for the hardcover games that they have the ability to actually continue the games. You can see here continuation. So this is an ongoing campaign. So signing up for this may or not be wise, but you just have to just let you know that this is an ongoing campaign. And if you want to try to get into it, just email the DM and ask them. You can show here games you are not playing in, games you are playing in, and you can sort by if you want to see all the newest games that were added. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and apply filters. And here you go. So this is what my filters came up with. And if you just want to reset back to your default, there you go. And apply filters. So one thing to note too is in the game that we signed up for, you'll see that this sign up now changed to view. And it now tells you your sign up order. So this concludes the playing of the games. Next, we'll go over how to set up a DM a game. So if you want to schedule a new game, you go here and click on the schedule new game button. As you can see, it has you as a GM. You can go here and pick the game you want to GM. If you want to override the runtime, you can do that if you want. If you want to give more time to run the game, you put in a game start time. If you, for some reason, you want to change what software you're DMing in, you can do that here. If you want to change the max number of players, if you're streaming information overrides, if you want to put any special notes in here. And here is once the game is over, you can go in through here and put in how much the XP rewards were, how much gold was rewarded, the downtime names, what magic item was received, and then for each item here, how much renown and if they had a secret mission was successful. So if the Zent had 2 renown and they got their here, and you can press save. So if you want to just see our game, we go to DM and go to online games, and these are all of our up and coming games, or your up and coming games. So if you want to edit this, once again you have or delete it, you use the edit button. And this is where, if once you play the games, you can put in what you can edit the gold and stuff like that. Now, if you can't DM the game, you can do a withdraw. And what this will do is this will allow you to withdraw, and will allow another DM to step up and play. If you want to make this a continuous game, so let's say you couldn't finish in the allotted amount of time. So like if it's like a 2-rounder, you can press continue game, and it will basically copy the information, and it'll also copy all the players who signed up. Okay, so let's DM our game. Here you can use this to view what players have signed up for your games. And here you can actually reserve spots for players also. So if you go and you do a reserve spot, you could choose a player who you're reserving a spot for, or you can just go up here to the top and press reserved. And also as a DM, you have the option to mark people as attended. And also you have the option to view their log here. So this is either if they have a URL, it'll take you to the URL, or it'll, well, it's supposed to show you log. All right, that will have to get fixed. All right, so we'll continue on though. And this here shows you if this is a Quest of the Week game. Now, if you want to log this game in your DM log, well, we'll show you DM log later. Now, if you want to email and do an announcement to the game, you can do an announce game here, and then you can send the email. You can edit this in any way you want. So let's say you want to just, well, you don't want to really get rid of these, because when you announce the game, it'll actually convert these /Ds and /Ts to the player's time zone and stuff. And then when you're ready, you just press send email. I'm not going to do it, and it'll email everybody. Now, if you want to email your players, this will email all the players that are signed up for the games, and this gives you a list of all the emails that I have and stuff like that. So that is basically how to set up in email games. Set up in DM games. Now, if you want to request a game and that somebody else will DM for you, you can go to here and you can press request games. So it'll come up with no GM. Then you put in the module that you want, the date and time that you want, what software you want, and stuff like that. And here this is gonna actually sign you up. And you press save, and you see here, so this game now has no GM, and you're signed up for it. Now, on that note, if you go over to online games, you will see that game. They will only show games you are playing in. Apply filters. So you can see here a GM game. This will allow you to take over a game that's looking for a GM. So you can click on the GM game, it'll automatically do yourself, and you press save. Okay, so next we'll go over how to create adventure logs for your characters. So to create an adventure log, or to log your character's adventures, first thing you have to do is create a character, which you should have already done. Next thing you can do is you can go into adventure log and new entry. So if you have your character bland here, you just log what adventure you played in. A session, if you want to override the module name, so if you're playing a hardcover and you want to play like chapters and stuff like that, a session number that's not really used for anything, you can put your date played, and this is how all dates work. If you click on the little date thing here, and you come up with here, and you can modify, go right, left here, and then you select on the date you played, the time you played, how much XP you gained or lost, gold, downtime, and then renown. I'll go over that in a second. How much renown you gained, if you had a secret mission, magic items, if you gained any, and then if you got one, what item, any notes you want to put in. And location play, that's just for your information if you want it. And if the DM uses the site, if you can select, find the DM here. You can see here it automatically fill in the DCI number. And if you want to log what other players played, you can do that there. So now you have your character here. Now you notice we have more than, we just have the one character. But if you go and select a single character, it's going to show you a summary of everything. The top line is going to be how much XP you have, then how much to your next level, your gold, you have 0 magic items, if you're renowned, and if you had a secret mission, and then if you have any downtime. And this is your secret mission total, so it'd be 0. And then down here it gives you also the summary, but it also gives you your renown rank, which it doesn't, and it tells you your XP to your next level and your next level XP. So we'll just create a second one, and we'll use the downtime calculator now. So for the downtime calculator, you can select which item you want to do. So if you want to do catching up, though, you can see here, you must be level 4 to catch up. But if you want to do some crafting, then this here is how many days you spend crafting. So if you want to spend 1 day, this here gives you a description of what that item does. So if you're going to spend, let's say you spend 5 days crafting, now watch, your gold should change and your downtime should change, and you press apply. So it automatically calculated how much downtime for gold it costs. Okay, so that's what the downtime calculator does. So let's go ahead and do a print. So this allows you to print your adventure logs. Here, if you want to print uploaded logs, this is for if you use the URL. Or if you want to have any uploaded certs for this character, and I'll show you how you can do that in a minute. So we'll click those off. And if you want any extra pages, so if you're going to a convention or something and you want extra pages, so you can tell it you want to print 2 extra pages, and we'll press print. And you can see here it creates a PDF, and it creates your adventure league with 2 extra pages, adventure log with 2 extra pages. Okay, do a return. And that's basically the adventure log. Now I had mentioned how you can print the certs when you go to print. Now to add certs, once you've actually added the character, if you go back to characters and then you edit that, you can see you have the ability to upload your log entries or your certs, and that's a scanned log of your certs. So if we're going to go here and go press new log, and we're going to print, select a cert, and then we're going to choose the file. So let's just say that's a cert, and then we'll upload the image, and then we'll do a save. Now if we go back to our adventure log and we do a print, Now if we do the print the uploaded logs and uploaded certs, if we print that, you can see at the bottom it'll actually print out the image you chose for your cert. Okay, so now I want to show you how to add entries from the log, from the a game you played in. So let's filter by the games that you played in. And let's go ahead and view. Now, the DM hasn't, or me, I haven't added your rewards for this, but if you go in here and you edit yourself here, you press over here and you go to add to log. And now it's going to automatically put in the log entry for you. So if your DM hadn't filled in the gold and stuff, you can go ahead and do it here now. And you notice here it automatically did carry the renown over, because if you set up it as your character, then you can add any nouns, but it automatically added the DM's TCI number. So even if the DM doesn't add the type of information, it at least gets the module, easily gets the module in there and stuff for you. And you press save, and there you go. Alright, so next we're going to go over the DM logs. So you go up here to the DM menu and go to DM Playtest Rewards. And here you enter or press the new reward button. And you can change the date to the date you DM'd. And you can click here and select the module that you ran. You can also override the module name here. So like if you're putting in rewards from a storyline, DM rewards from a storyline, something like that, you can override the module name and put it there. But if you do select a module, it should automatically enter in your XP and all the rewards from the module. It just depends on whether it's been entered into the system or not. Alright, so normally you can press save from here. And then when you're ready, then you look down here and it tells you you have 100 gold, 100 XP, 100 gold, and 5 downtime available. So when you're ready to apply that to a character, you press this button here, and then you click on reward used, and you notice this apply button. Now you can't press that until you have selected the character to apply it to, and then you got to select the date. So you just press today, and if there's any notes you wanted to, then you need to, before you press save, you need to press the apply button. And then it'll say log entry entered, and then you can press save and get out of here. Now if you forget to press the apply button, what you can do is if you uncheck this, and then check this back then again, and then you can press the apply. It's going to reapply. If we did it now, it would reapply it. Let's cancel out of that, and I'll just show you the adventure log where it was added. So you can see here today's date. Go get today's date here, and that the DM reward, and here's in the notes it puts the module that you're awarded it for. Alright, one more thing I want to show you is if you go under the play, you'll see modules played. Click on here. This gives a listing of all the modules in here, and it lets you know which of your characters have played them. So if we go here and we only have one character, we can select Bland. Then you go down here and you'll see this globe. This will tell you the globe that Bland has played Shadow over Moonsea. And that's the only mod I'll use. He's played a few more. So this gives you a quick reference of which characters have played what mod. And you can filter it by levels and stuff like that. Okay, now I'd like to show you under here, under the settings. You just have two options under settings. Here you can update or change your user info if you want to. Once again, you have to enter in your user ID and password to if you make any changes. You press here to go home. You can also get to the user settings by clicking on your email address up there. You can also see all the modules that are available in the system. And you can filter this by code, or you can sort by, if you want to do by chord, by title, by levels, or by storyline, or however you want to do that. Okay, so let's go over the some of the tools that are available. So under 5E tools, you can go to character sheet from Fantasy Grounds. So if you have Fantasy Grounds and you export to an XML, this gives you the ability to actually print an XML. So let's go ahead and find an XML. So we're going to choose Kronk here. And then you see it's going to automatically enter your player's name. And here you can do show spells, if you want to show inventory, show feats. Or if this is a Fantasy Grounds, you have the ability to print the log from Fantasy Grounds. But we're not going to do that. Then here, if you do print the log, if you want any extra pages, like the other thing. So when we're ready, press print. So you see here, it prints out the character log. Now it will print out if you have all the spell information put in. It will print out basically what you entered into Fantasy Grounds. So here's information, and then it's got little click marks here if you want to click them off. Then all your spells, cantrips and stuff, and it also has at the top here, so you can click off when you cast spells. And this gives you an idea of the damage and stuff like that. So that's a character sheet. So the next thing is a point buy calculator. It's just simply that. This will help you just create a character. You notice here it keeps a running total. It's yellow, meaning that you still have things available. And now it turns red, that means you've gone over your budget. There you go. And also, just for a quick reference, XP, the XP table. So, another tool is a DM encounter building. So you can, this is the calculations out of the DMG. So you can put in characters, and then number of monsters, total XP, calculate, and then it'll tell you how much XP for that party you should be using. Okay, so another tool is instructions for converting images to align with Fantasy Grounds. Just something I got online, so you just follow these instructions and it'll align the grids up a little easier with Fantasy Grounds. Under helpful links here, we had the print store flyer. Here, if you can print flyers to go up at your store. You can put a header, footer. And here you can have up to 3 games. which there's several options to report, what color text you want to use, and then there's some pictures here. You can select which image you want to use, and you can print. Let's see. So this will print a store flyer for you. Okay, and that is the basics.